IVM.
Here's your smart fact of the day. So, what is dream journaling? Dream journaling is the practice of remembering fragments of your dream and recording them in a diary in the morning while they're still fresh. Now, you can have a lot of variants about it, which we are going to go deeper in this episode of Smarter with Sid, but I thought we'll start off with this specific smart fact. Let's go. Now, you might be thinking, what does this guy actually think he's doing? He is a digital professional, maybe a management guy, maybe somebody who can advise us on careers and, how to think through a campaign or stuff like that. What is he talking about dream journaling? Has he lost his mind? But to be honest, Smarter with Sid, the basic premise is essentially to identify anything that can give all of us an edge in whatever we are doing, specifically our work, our career, our professions, and maybe even our personal life or the way in which we network, all of that. And I sometimes like to mix and match, and especially during the months of April and May, where there is a bit of a break in the academic calendar wherein I get a chance to open my mind out and think about various different subjects than what the normal usually is, whatever the normal is. But the context is that. And also, I have got a bit of Tim Ferriss in me, which is to say that I try to experiment a little before speaking. So you may have noticed that in earlier episodes wherein I'm actually doing an experimentation on, transcendental meditation or something around that sort in order to improve the way in which I feel or my energy is through my day. And today's was essentially about figuring out dream journaling. So of course I'm doing it right now. So first of all, caveat is that I don't want to make this into a woo-woo conversation. I want to make this into a conversation wherein we can actually be helped, right? So what is the practice really? Before you sleep, you say, okay, I'm going to remember my dreams. And then you can have an intention as well. I want to invoke this person to come and give me advice in my dream. Or you can go into the lucid dreaming stage wherein you can say, okay, I'm going to be conscious in my dream and I'm going to kind of direct it when I'm within the dream. I'm nowhere near that, by the way. But then, those steps go on. I've just taken baby steps with my baby daughter, who's no longer a baby, but essentially she's been doing dream journaling for a long time and she wanted to walk me through the paces. And one of the things that I'm doing, in fact, for a few days now, is to record my dreams, the way in which they appear, and just write this dream journal. I call it DJ1, DJ2, just me being stupid dad jokey. But the whole idea is that a dream journal is particularly useful. And I want to now break it down into first principles and distinguish it from the woo-woo business. So a lot of times we actually try to, you might be seeing a lot of videos on YouTube or whatever, which talks of dreams as, having hidden meanings, and dreams, you can analyze your dream to know what your personality is and stuff like that. And I don't want to get into that. What I want to find out if there is a practical way in which dreams can help us. So this is what I found out. I started essentially saying that, hey, I want to record my dreams. And I started recording them. Now, earlier, before I started recording the dream journal, what I had found out was that I could not really remember too many dreams. Or even if I had remembered, if it was a bad dream, I'll remember it. If it was a nonsensical dream or a random dream, I'll just kind of forget all about it. But now, just because I have a diary and I'm going to take that extra minute or two to write it out, I seem to be remembering more. It's very strange how our mind works, and especially our subconscious mind. Just because we put an intention towards remembering the dream, we start remembering more. Sometimes you want to remember, you can't remember when you've just woken up in the morning, but then maybe when you're working out or having a cup of coffee, that's when it clicks and you suddenly say, oh, okay, I remember that. So that's one. But the whole intention of actually having a dream ends up making you remember more. The second is, I believe, and this is maybe something that is a takeaway or something which we can discuss further, is that these dreams do unlock your creativity. And it just allows me at least to just completely step out of the box. Step out of the box, because dreams are when your mind goes crazy. And I think I'm a logical person at most times. So people come to me for maybe some rational advice, some rational thinking. And this is when I'm allowing myself to be completely irrational, completely illogical. And there is a beauty and magic to it, because what tends to happen is that because of that, some strange new neural pathways must be emerging, and some new ideas, new thoughts, new brain waves, new connections that I could make in the real world all happen. Now, these might result in, say, a great podcast, maybe like this, or maybe a fantastic aspect for a lecture, or maybe a research paper, or maybe a project, or maybe something to do with consulting. There are practical implications of this creativity that start off in dreamland. And I think that just recording them allows me to be more creative by just thinking about those dreams a little. The second is, a lot of times you tend to see what your subconscious is actually trying to tell you. Now, I'm finding it really difficult to explain this, but your subconscious is trying to tell you something in the best possible way it can. And if you remember it, maybe you are able to understand what some part of you which is hidden is actually telling you how things can be simpler, better, more productive for you, more specifically creative for you. And it's just a strange way of your mind communicating to itself. I'm not thinking in woo-woo land again. I'm just saying there's something that the subconscious mind is trying to communicate, and it happens maybe through dreams. And if you start recording them, you will end up actually coming up with some brilliant solutions for yourself. So these are the two main things that I've come across. And apparently, I was just reading, so I went down this rabbit hole, and apparently just the act of having a dream journal, remembering fragments of good dreams, bad dreams, or random dreams, also make you feel calmer, and therefore feel less stressed, and therefore have an impact on longevity and health. Now, somebody has to stop me right there and tell me that I'm not a scientist for sleep. And maybe we need to listen to a guy called Dr. David Sinclair and look at what he has to say about dreams, or maybe Dr. Andrew Huberman, who will probably know way more about dreams than I do. But the fact is that, am I enjoying myself, and is this adding value to my life? Yes, it is. Does it take a bit of doing? Yeah, maybe it does. It takes a couple of minutes. It takes a little discipline. How can I ensure that I do it all the time? Well, I think the best way of ensuring that you do it all the time is to stack it up. Now, the way in which I stack up things is like, okay, so if I'm doing, say, the Wim Hof meditation in the morning, I will stack up my workout routine immediately after, and I'll stack up, just getting ready immediately after that. So the stacked up habit tends to work better in my view. And so therefore, dream journaling works better the moment I wake up and clean my room. So it's like I'm cleaning my mind and I'm cleaning my room. I think that is a good way in which you can stack two things up together and have a very clean start to your day. Well, this has been a bit of a crazy one, but something that perhaps can take that quantum leap for you to take your career or take your work to the next level. Don't take my word for it. Try it out, see if it works for you. And trust me, don't worry, I'll be back with my normal stuff, which talks of digital and customer experience and media and trends and creators and the economy and the rest of it. But it will be interspersed with some episodes that just help us become slightly better people. So, like this episode, do like it, do subscribe to the podcast. Make sure that you also go to IVM's other stuff. They've got some good stuff for you, mate. And the fact is that if you actually are listening to IVM stuff, do connect with me on LinkedIn or on Instagram, where I'm most active. You'll know me by my name, The Traveling Professor. And on that happy note then, have a good one, and happy dreaming.
There's a quick survey to fill out on ivmpodcast.com/survey. It lets us know a little bit more about who's listening to us. And you know what? We're going to do a few prizes. So, we'll do a random drawing of maybe 10 people, and we'll send you all some swag. Remember, that's ivmpodcast.com/survey where you can fill out the survey. Hello, everybody. It's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Mind the Gender Gap, host Naina Kumar talks to experts Niharika Vora and Dipti Ravula about the social, structural, and economic barriers women entrepreneurs face. On Big Talk About Tiny Humans, Devi Shobha and Meghna explain how to talk to children about porn. Can you be forced to vote? Host Priya Mirza talks about this on The Longest Constitution. On Press Decode, Sarah Vagda and Prafulla discuss the recent controversy surrounding Indian languages. And on Postcards from Nowhere, Utsav shares exactly what India's culinary heritage can teach us. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, we've been doing a series of profiles of people within the office, so do check that out for sure. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. Also, don't forget to rate us on any platforms you're listening on. And you can also check us out on YouTube. We have a page on our website, ivmpodcast.com/YouTube, with a list of all our channels. We're also doing a small listener survey to better understand how you, the listener, responds to the advertising on our network. And also, we just want to know a little bit more about you. We would really appreciate it if you could spare a few minutes to fill it out. It will really help us build some better shows for you. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors on the network this week, SBI Life Insurance and Jupiter, a digital banking app.